was walking down the street, feeling kindly, when the wind came out your butt and blew my wig off. Oh, it was a sight to see. My hair flying in the breeze, 'cause the wind came out your butt and blew my wig off. People started laughing, they couldn't believe their eyes as my wig flew through the sky. Oh, what a surprise. I tried to catch it, but it slipped right through my hands, 'cause the wind came out your butt and now it's somewhere in the land. Oh, the wind came out your butt, blew my wig off. Baby, you drive like shit. Did you see the car that you almost hit? I'd rather take the bus instead. Riding with you, I'm gonna end up dead. Don't ask me if I need a lift. Baby, you drive like shit. She just ran through always style. I ain't trying to get stopped by the cops. Baby, why the hell did I let you drive? It's a miracle that you're still alive. Don't ask me if I need a lift. Baby, you drive like shit. Oh, 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 oh. Look out, my girl is driving. Watch out, my girl drives like shit. Whoa, 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 whoa. My girl is driving. Watch out, my girl drives like shit. Heard to think your tongue. Gotta let you know I will fuck you up. I whip that ass, talking all that shit, spank that ass till you down like a bitch. So I ain't playing. I'm here to kick ass. Whoop that ass. It's time to punch face. I'm the one who brings you pain in the ring. I whoop that ass until the bell rings. Already know that I do not play. Throw a box like I'm cutting down hay. I whoop that ass every single night. Spank that ass till they stop the fight. I'll tell you the story of a man, a radioactive pimp in his hand. His hand was 10 times his normal size to help him get his money on time. He knew if the bitch was telling a lie, which was 100% of the time. Superpower to make a bitch listen and get her naked with sex-ray vision. Keep a police station in a single bound, slapping bitches down to the fucking ground. His name was famous across the land. They called him the imp named Superhand. Oh shit, yeah, him named Superhand. He had powers no other pimp had. Oh fuck yeah, him big Superhand. That motherfucker was Superman. Asking for dinner ain't asking for much. You had one job and still fucked it up. Sometimes you gotta learn respect. I use my gift hand to caress. It's called a bitch slap. Come get your face. white man? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to? So much so that you don't want to be around each other. No, before you come asking Mr. Muhammad to teach you, you should ask yourself who taught you to hate being what God made you.
And they're the ones who are supposed to be trained in enforcing the law. That's why I tell people it's always been a joke. If the government does not train these people on the law before they put them on the streets, they don't give a fuck about us. They are an enforcement. They are muscle. Not her so much, but they still, women can join the police force. I don't believe in that shit. I don't believe y'all. You can work in the office and shit like that. But you don't need to be on the street. But I got Miss Jackson up in here. Man, Miss Jackson. Cool. It's been a fun night so far. Go ahead and give me your thoughts so far, because we almost done, but I want to get you in. We got 4 more minutes.
Yeah, I just kind of caught the middle anyhow. Just jumped in the middle in. But so far, from what I see, you have to have as far as her speaking on de-escalating the situation, it wasn't like it was a hostile environment where, that excessive force was needed to de-escalate the issue. From what I'm seeing, the man was in his truck on his property at his house or whatnot. And, instead of them just walking up to him to talk to him about whatever was going on, whatever the situation is, and if this was going on his arrest, to notify him of that there's a warrant on your arrest, for your arrest, and what the charge is.
Oh, hey, let me help you out. Let me help you out real quick before you go down the long rabbit hole. He was driving on the street. You know how you got the tail lights that normally stay on when you're on the interstate? You can push them and then the brake light come on, but normally you have a red light that's already on all the time when you're driving. Well, they didn't see a red light on the shit. Now, he was braking. They saw the brake lights. When he put his turn signal on, they saw that too. As soon as he put his turn signal on, they hit the lights on like, we got to pull you over. So he was already on the street going to his house. So he slowed down to probably like 10 miles an hour, and he pulled into his spot. Well, the cop that was training her took that as if he was trying to run away from him, driving at like 10, 15 miles an hour. So in his mind now, he can treat this as a felony stop where they come out guns drawn. And she was a part of that. And now she's testifying to what happened that night, and she's trying to justify what they did, but it's like the dude wasn't trying to elude you. In the court case, just so you know, the court case ahead of time has already been disputed. He was found innocent of everything, but he did get his leg chewed the fuck up by a dog. And this is the deposition for the civil lawsuit.
So basically, it was a traffic stop.
Yeah. They escalated the traffic stop. That's the whole gist of it.
Okay.
That's why the lawyer keep asking her about de-escalation and escalation. They are the ones who escalated the traffic stop from the get-go, because it should have been what you said. Okay, we pulled them over, go up to the car. Hey, look, sir, you got a light out. Let me get your license, registration, all this. Nah, they hopped out of the car with the guns drawn. And then they sicked the dog on the motherfucker.
So exactly, that's what I was saying. Like I said, I jumped in the middle, but right. So there was no hostile environment for them to feel the need to take control of the situation. I mean, in other words, what are you de-escalating? What is there to de-escalate? It was a traffic stop or whatnot. If you felt that he was eluding you, once you got him stopped and pulled over, it's just the same as if you're on the highway or, rolling down the street. You proceed, approach that vehicle and that person, and inform them of why you pulled them over. Who you are, officer such and such, and your badge and code number, and ask for to identify themselves. And at the end of the day, if his tail light was out, he'll give him a ticket, a citation, whatever you choose to do. And that should have been the end of that.
Well, remember, when that male officer, the one we saw earlier, the pig face motherfucker, when he deemed it as a felony stop, that's when it got escalated. Because if you get a felony stop, like let's say they get a call on me, you the officer. There's a call, the APB out that this guy in this white truck done kidnapped the kid. And this license plate number or whatever, you get behind me. Boom. License plate number match up. I'm supposed to be the suspect this is supposed to be the truck that has the suspect in it that done kidnapped the kid. Well, if you stop me, that automatically is a felony stop. So when it becomes a felony stop, they can come out with more force than a regular, like, yeah, you ran that stop sign. Let me walk up to you. They have the ability actually are trained to treat this stop as something might pop off. So with this guy going 15, this the problem. With the guy going slow down the street and not stopping immediately when they hit the lights on him, the dude automatically classified it as a felony, which let him elevate his approach on how he did it. Because it should have been what you said. Just go up to the car and knock on the door. But in his mind, and that's why I keep trying to tell people, there's a subjective view and there's an objective view. We get the subjective. Like if we saw it the way we're reading it, it should be exactly what the hell you just said. Because that's how we would be viewed. It's a regular traffic stop. Go up to the car, get his license, registration, and let him know if you got to write a ticket, you got to write a ticket. But the cops get the objective. And that's why he said when the guy didn't stop immediately and he kept going, he felt like in his mind, his objective view, that he was trying to flee him, even though he's trying to flee him at like 10, 15 miles an hour, which don't make no fucking sense. But
Okay,
they get that luxury.
Right. So I did. This is per her sergeant. So her sergeant deemed it as a felony stop, and the reason he deemed it as that stop is because the dude did not immediately stop. He pretty much kept on rolling. Okay, I got you. Okay.
Now she's trying to testify to justify, because pretty much, look, you ain't gonna snitch on your homeboy. It's her first day on the job, and this probably happened months after the situation. So the questioning that she's getting, she doesn't want to give the wrong fucking answer to incriminate somebody else. So now you see how this shit is working right now, because they still get the leeway. They get the objective view, not the subjective. They get the objective view on everything. So she's trying to word it. And a lot of cops, you haven't seen it. You watched all the other cops that came up on here. They playing like they dumb.
Right.
What's your use of force procedure say? Oh, well, I would need to see the paperwork. Bitch, if I worked at McDonald's, I flip burgers all goddamn day. I flipped burgers for the last 20 years. And you ask me how long you supposed to have that burger on there before you flip it. I'm supposed to know. But a cop that's been on the job for so damn long don't know. I need to look back at procedure. I need to look at the paperwork.
So I peeped that, and that's why they was going back with the sergeant to training. What type of training did you have when you got promoted? You know what I'm saying? What matter of fact, what qualifications? The question should have been, what qualifications did you achieve to get promoted? You know, everybody's not even in a position to be promoted to sergeant, captain, lieutenant, and so forth. So
that's all it is. On the job long enough.
Yeah.
Just on the job. And to Smooth's comment, Smooth said it's not always safe to stop immediately. You goddamn right, because you might be in a low lit area, and in situations just like this right now, you got motherfuckers that will sit up on the stand and lie and try to act like you. The bitch said I was trying to meet the threat at where it was. He didn't have a gun. He didn't speed away from it. He wasn't yelling and cussing at y'all or nothing. He told y'all motherfuckers to come get him. So what threat were you meeting? No, you were escalating, not de-escalating. You were making the situation more than what it needed to be. And that's what this lawyer is trying to get at. You caused this entire situation yourself. And I'm just going to say, like, bitch, I know you wasn't the motherfucker that pulled that motherfucker over. But guess what? By proxy, you were there. Just like, hey, if you ran Miss Jackson, you ran up in the store, we in the car riding together. You like, hey man, pull over here real quick. Like, let me go in the gas station. You go in that motherfucker and rob it. I don't know you rob it and we drive off. Guess what? I'm going to jail too. I'm the cop.
Hey, I feel you. So evidently, the point is there was no probable cause for him to call for a felony stop. Like, there was no probable cause for that. You know, he didn't take y'all on no high-speed chase or anything of that nature. You didn't even run his tag. You know what I'm saying? To say, hey, we see that there's a felony warrant out on this guy. So evidently, there was no probable cause or reason for him to deem it a felony stop.
Remember, they keep going with it. Objective, subjective. Remember, everybody, just so y'all know, citizens, we have a subjective view. I'm going to beat this down because I'm going to constantly keep covering these cop videos. There's a subjective view put on us. Very subjective. What would a normal human being do in this situation? Objective view is given to the cops. What would a cop do in the situation? Which means they could feel however they felt. Amber Geiger, the one that walked up in that guy's house and shot him, Bolton John, talking about she thought that was her shit. They gave her an objective view. That was her position when they argued for it. That's why that bitch wasn't sitting in jail forever, and that's why she out right now. Or people want to hug her and give her Bibles and shit, talk about we forgive you. Bitch, fuck you, ho. I hope maggots run over your body when you're dead. But either way, I ain't gonna try to be mean about that. But they give them a different fucking standard of when situations happen compared to what we get when we're in that exact same situation. But here, let's play the video a little bit more because we almost done with it. Yeah, we almost done with it. Yeah, and we coming up on fucking 2 hours. Yeah, let's do the run.
Allowed to interject and suggest to Harvey not to release K9 Drago?
I don't know the answer to that question.
Okay. And so your testimony is you had no authority to de-escalate or stop the situation.
I had no authority when it comes to K9 Drago.
You're the supporting officer on the scene, correct?
I'm the backup. Yes.
Okay, so you're the backup officer on the scene, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and so your testimony is that you had no authority to de-escalate or stop the situation?
I'm trying to think of, it's kind of a 2-part question.
Okay. Did you have authority to de-escalate the situation?
At that time, no.
Did you have authority to stop the situation from occurring?
No.
Okay. Did you have authority to intervene in the situation?
No.
Okay. And so your testimony is that as the backup officer, you had no authority to intervene, de-escalate, or stop the situation?
As a trainee backup officer, no, I did not.
John Phillips, the attorney from earlier that represents Martinez Bowman, is also the attorney for James Hodges and Joe Exotic, aka the Tiger King. He recently spoke about the Hodges incident during a press conference concerning the lawsuits against Columbia County.
A few years ago, we got a call from Martinez Bowman about a police dog attack, and we investigated that. We filed suit on that case, and the officer that was chiefly involved is a now retired, I guess, officer, David Harvey. Well, David Harvey was the chief training officer for Jamie Goad. So on October 31st of this year, when Jim was coming from jury duty, he was harassed by Jamie Goad, and it led to the video you've all seen. And we're going to be asking for the Department of Justice to come in and take a look at the wrongdoing and the lack of discipline at Columbia County Sheriff's Office. When they're poorly trained, when they abuse their power, it is the biggest breach of trust that our society has.
The only way to drive away darkness is to turn the lights on. This is not my first time running into the face of injustice, just trying to get along and do my thing. When social media started bringing this disease we have in our society to the public eye, I started getting exposed to it too. So I made up my mind to properly, legally, and as maturely as possible, given the circumstances, to fight back.
When you have someone saying, look at me, I'm causing problems with the community, and a sheriff says, what? Then, you know, maybe it's the sheriff that has the actual vision impairment, not Mr. Hodges. We'll leave that for the DOJ to determine.
James has now also filed the lawsuit against Randall Harrison and Jamie Godey. At first, they tried to settle by offering him $7,500 to sweep it under the rug. But James denied the insulting gesture, and it's been several months since the case has moved in any direction. But when there are updates to either of the cases from today's video, I'll be sure to let you know. Until then, share this video with your pro-police friends and ask if they would defend these deputies, and let me know how you feel about these interactions in the comments down below.
And that's what we here for. That's what the fuck we here for. Because I'm sick and tired of this shit. And guess what? It's about to get worse. Whether people know it, it's Trump's America now, boy. And I'm gonna keep telling them, motherfucker, it's Trump's America now, boy. And it's about to get reckless. That's one thing that he was very adamant about, letting people know that he wanted to do away with qualified immunity in the sense of not making police be held accountable for their actions, make it where citizens cannot even challenge these police actions. And with these things still constantly going on. They did it to a black guy. They hemmed up a white dude. They didn't beat him up and draw guns on him, but they kidnapped this dude. They put him in handcuffs, ran his pockets, and took his ass to jail. If anybody's cool with that, I'm like, look, what are you talking about? So we need to be a little bit more understanding. Like, I understand we got bad people in society, but guess what? They can also wear uniforms that's got a badge on it too. Miss Jackson, you got the flow. I'm gonna let you go ahead and get in, man. Go ahead and say what you got to say.
Well, Trump put it out there, man, and the people got what they wanted. Hey, he gonna, like you said, to the point, ain't no police brutality. They do what they want to do and get away with it. You can't charge them. You can't, you know what I'm saying? You can't do anything to stand up for yourself, defend yourself, protect your rights, or none of that. They're just totally immune and exempt. So, you know, but back to when they was questioning the woman, she, first of all, wanted to stunt like she didn't understand the questions, playing dumb and ignorant. Then second of all, she just told a straight lie. She lied on all of it. She didn't have, she wasn't in a position to de-escalate the situation. She couldn't intervene in the situation. She couldn't stop it. But just 10 seconds before that, you said you took control to de-escalate the problem. So you told on yourself. I mean, it's real evident that you telling lies. And then back to the lawyer, he was correct, absolutely right when, you know, he said you got these officers that are poorly trained or not trained at all, and they're using abuse of power. So yeah, it's a serious problem, because if you go through any kind of legit company, there's a chain of command you have to go through, or procedures and policies to follow in order to move up into a certain position. You know, it ain't like, you know, that's just like you use Mickey D's, for example. You start at Mickey D's, you know what I'm saying, flipping burgers and cooking fries. You can't just up and turn into management within a week or two. You feel me? There's policies and procedures that you have to go through, a chain of command to work your way up to GM or general manager. So what they saying ain't even making no sense. In other words, we just doing what the hell we want to do. And I feel like it's a form of, you know, you have to bring it as the issue of what it is. When it comes to a certain race, they stick together. And so in that is, you know, hey, you know, my daddy or my brother or my best friend or my wifey or my hubby. And so because they gonna put me on. You know, it's that type of shit. So But yeah, man, it was ridiculous. I'm glad it was brought out and that the young man, and then they had the nerve to be sarcastic and offer him $7,500. Like this nigga's supposed to be, the dude's supposed to be so uneducated that you don't really did something. You know what I'm saying? Like you really done did something to compensate me that I almost lost my life when you had the damn dog attack me and could have gave me something I can't get rid of, a rabies. And 7K supposed to chop that up, so yeah, I'm just glad he got some form of justice and went about exercising his power and his civil rights, the correct way.
All right, and I don't know if the 7,500 was offered to the black guy, because they get that same lawyer is representing both the black guy and the white guy. I don't know who they offered that to. I think they offered it to the white guy, but I'm not sure. I would have to go back and watch it again. But either way, though, it's a slap in the fucking face. But we got Beans World up in the building. My good old Trump supporting brother. But yeah, what's up, Bean?
Good afternoon, world.
Preach.
And I wouldn't say I'm a Trump supporting brother.
You a Trump supporter, stop lying. Trump's America now, boy.
Actually, the only thing I voted for was Amendment 2, Amendment 3, and Amendment 4. That was the only thing I voted for. I didn't vote for either party. I was disgusted with both sides, man. I didn't appreciate anything I was seeing from either one. Both sides made you feel like you were selling out, man. That's just being honest.
Well, I'm surprised. But what were your thoughts on, I know you probably called it late. Because you always come into the show late. Give me your thoughts on what you saw.
I didn't catch it. I'm just catching the tail end of
See, look at this motherfucker.
I caught Miss Jackson in the 7,500, but yeah, man.
Why do you come up when you ain't watched the video, man? God damn.
I was just logging in, sir.
This is terrible.
I'm supporting.
I'm gonna let Miss Jackson get you. Miss Jackson, go on get his ass. Go on get him, man. He coming up here fucking up shit. God damn it.
She was ready to tear into me anyway. She thought I voted for Trump.
She ain't the only one. She ain't the only one.
I ain't getting nobody business. Who you vote for is personal. You know what I'm saying? I just encourage you to vote. That's the important thing,
No, the only thing I cared about was the natural ability to be able to hunt and fish without a game warden telling me what to do. I wanted to vote about giving women their rights to do what they want with their body, and then the other thing I voted for was to legalize weed.
Man, fuck that second one.
No, that's right. Everybody wrong.
Hell no. Fuck that second one.
Yeah, that was all I cared
about.
Too
broad. That's too
And I would have voted against our sheriff, but the dude that was running against him gave up. They ran his ass off.
Yeah.
Small town USA.
They probably put the police on.
He was the police. He was the police.
Look, don't act like they won't put the police on the police.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what the fuck? We done seen it. They will put the police on the police. Who got more power?
Well, you might have to go back and rewatch the. Hey, Bings, you might have to go back and rewatch the video, but it was just the police brutalities, the violating the brother's civil rights, and basically how they arrested him, attacked him for nothing. Attacked him for absolutely nothing. So
I see that
it's just one of them things.
Where I'm from. That's just one of them things where I'm from. If you ever travel through, Alabama late night, up around Coleman, Tuscaloosa.
It's Florida. It happened in Florida.
Oh, I mean, I'm just saying in general, like that was my first experience. I was just, saying that was when I first experienced something like that.
Oh yeah, we know.
You remember what I told you before? Because I get the concept. Like, look, yeah, like I can be like, yeah, I didn't deal with that. It is what it is, man. It's not. We got to get to the point of saying it's not what it is.
Oh no, I ain't never been one of them. I'm gonna sue you, your camera. I'm gonna get that FOIA. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
FOIA.
Yeah.
And FOIA requests all that shit. I need body cam. I need badge numbers. I need fucking time, date stamps. Fucking police reports. I need all that. And the fucked up shit is, this is something that a lot of people need to start advocating for. You shouldn't have to pay for that. Because a lot of people don't know they charge you for that shit.
I mean, you get it back in court.
Nah, fuck that. I don't need to get back in court. I just need it.
It's part of the court. It's part of the court cost that they adjudicate.
But
The
what if
loser
you're-
gets the cost regardless. So
Yeah, but I'm saying, think about it. What if you're just an auditor and you didn't get hemmed up? They didn't arrest you or nothing, but they harassed the fuck out of you, and you want that body cam for when they approach you. This shit not going to court. I need that body cam.
well, that's
Just
like that one.
Go ahead.
Sorry to cut you off. There was that one officer, the guy that killed that guy in what was it, 231 South? And the auditor, First Amendment auditor, he went to him and he said, "Oh, I know you. You're the guy that killed that guy. Well, what are you still doing on the force?" Because he was doing that 2A protest with he had his AR-15 in a downward position, but on a sling. And the officer approached him, basically, Amber, just ready to light him up. And he was like, "Oh, I know who you are. You're that cop that killed that guy last year."
But hey, I got a question. So I heard when on one part the sergeant got 7 days without pay, and the trainee got 3 days, and that was it. I mean, I know the boy got everything dropped or whatnot, but that was, I mean, how did they end up? What was the outcome of handling the officers?
Oh, that was the outcome. The sergeant got a 7-day suspension, like you said. The female officer, actually, in that situation, the female officer didn't get anything. She got a 3-day suspension for the other one, the one where they just stopped that guy because she thought he had a gun, and then they arrested him. That's where they got the 7-day and the The other one was the dude just got a suspension for 7 days, and he got demoted. He got demoted from sergeant to regular old deputy.
And then retired out.
Yeah, after they demoted him, he was like, "Bro, I ain't got time for that." Because when you get demoted, anybody that knows about the ranks when it comes to the government and shit, your rank dictates your pay. So once he got demoted from where he was at, he was like, "Nah, fuck
He's
that."
not making no money. Exactly. But
He was making money. Like, when he complained like he wasn't making no money, he just wasn't making the money that he was making before.
Right.
And he was like, "Fuck that, I'm not dealing with that," even though he was dead ass wrong. That's the fucked up.
Well, on the flip side, he probably went on now too for his ass got sued and even charged. You know what I'm saying? Because by the young man getting a lawyer, and you know what I'm saying, and pressing forward with it.
Remember, they were gonna charge him in the beginning, but the judge, remember they appealed it. That's why Obey was like, "We're gonna get back to y'all in a few years to let y'all know," because the appeal process takes a while. The district judge ruled that the male cop and the female cop, well, the male cop had qualified immunity, and because she was a training officer, she would get it by proxy. So that's why they're appealing it, because they tried to throw it out with the civil lawsuit. They tried to throw it out. Like, yeah, he qualified immunity. Any reasonable cop would have did that, and he didn't provide that. It was like it was excessive. I'm like, the dog chewed through this motherfucker leg. Like, I don't know what the fuck you mean by that. But we got a lot of judges out here, and that's one thing that gets me. We got too many people, when we gotta remember this in society. Regardless of whether you have a position in the government, you can have your own personal beliefs about shit. So there could be one person that was like, yeah, every time a black person come in there, they're automatically guilty. There could be a person that comes in there that has a vendetta against white people and be like, they're automatically guilty. There could be a person that has a vendetta against women. There could be a person that has a vendetta against LGBTQ. Woo-woo. We have those people spread out all throughout parts of the government. And this was a situation where it was like the judge was like, yeah, it's a nigga that bit the dog. Yeah, he probably had it coming. Probably had the shit coming. So,
well, in appeals, and now that they in appeals, man, that shit can take years. So
he said 4 years.
Yeah.
And that's the problem that we deal with in society. Like, I'm for fighting the battle. I'm for fighting it, but when the grand scheme, like in the grand scheme of things, I want a lot of my fellow Americans to understand this. We can fight this shit in the court. Like if somebody got some money, like I'm that motherfucker that will go out and get a GoFundMe and start trying to promote shit. Like, no, we're gonna do this. And I grind harder on my side if I got to, just to raise that money to pay for these lawyers, because these lawyers ain't finna do this shit for free. Unless they just know automatically they're gonna get a big payday. But we gotta fight it, because at the end of the day, we need this shit to be corrected. But also, for the people that sit around and defend these motherfuckers when they do shit, act like they're holier than thou, like they can do no wrong, like they just don't put on their pants, just like we all do. We all put our pants on the same damn way, but they act like they put them on a special type of way. Man, they might jump in the air, do a backflip, and twist in the air or some shit. I want them motherfuckers to be the reason that you don't have good roads in your community. I want them to be the reason that the police don't patrol your community as much as you want them to. I want them to be the reason that your goddamn schools suck. I want them to be the reason that your kids get fucked up because ain't nobody there to stop that shit from happening. That's what I want. That's my biggest issue. I ain't got to the point now where my issue is not with politicians, police, and shit like that. My issue is with fellow Americans. Because we got too many Americans that have more energy for some shit that's going on overseas than they do for what's happening in their own goddamn country. You will sit here and co-sign people fucking up somebody next door to you. And that's where that old saying comes from. When they came for me, nobody was there. So when they come for you, don't expect nobody to be there. Please don't expect nobody to be there. And we got a lot of Americans that are like that. They just showed their true colors with this election. And I ain't saying Kamala was a good candidate. I ain't saying that. But Donald Trump a piece of shit. He a piece of shit. And then on top of that, go ahead.
Interjection.
Well, she was the better candidate.
Interjection.
Go ahead.
Let's just say this. And this is my opinion. The Democrats should have chose a better candidate. The booty shaking and the twerking and the Beyoncés and everybody on the P. Diddy list do not make the party look good. The other thing is like this, man. That lady only had 180 days.
That's right.
They put her up against a lot. And then the fact that there were plenty of opportunities for her to go on more modest shows to actually voice her opinion, but she didn't take those opportunities. Listen to me. There's a culmination of things. Listen, let me give you my opinion.
I'm letting you go, but you
When
know
she didn't,
why.
it's part of it. Listen, there are several votes or polls out right now asking, why do you think she lost? And there are people in what's the generation after millennial? Gen X,
I don't know.
Gen X or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah,
Gen X basically, their determining factor was she wasn't cool enough. She was not willing to go on the Joe Rogan show. She was not willing to go on several other different podcasts from the more modest right-wing side, I guess you could say. So that kind of damaged her. And then the other factor is like people were looking for her to answer certain specific things in a certain way, and the answer she gave wasn't good enough. And the fact that the policies that, even though she said she was running a different campaign and policies than Biden, people didn't fall for that. They knew that it was basically going to be the same thing another 4 years.
What was bad? What was bad? Like, see, that's the one thing that got me. What was bad about the 4 years of Biden?
Bidenomics.
I'm saying, what was the bad part about it?
Well, there were certain things in the beginning that were shut down that caused a lot of turmoil, a lot of people to lose their job.
It was coming out of
now, listen, things pick back up right now. Like, prime example, they just dropped the, what is it? What the correct term? They just dropped the interest rate. The Fed just dropped the interest rate today again.
Yeah.
I think another 0.25% or something like that.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, it dropped. I saw that.
But at the same time, you got to look at on the upside of what's going on in the world. Look at just what happened after they announced the election. Hamas, It's called a peace treaty.
Come on, they're
Putin,
trying to get a peace treaty for months.
Putin made an announcement today. I don't know what it was about. I forgot what it was about. But there's something going on with that and his announcement with Ukraine. There might be
I hear about it in the morning.
ceasefire
I
with
ain't,
that.
yeah, I'm about to say I hear about it in the morning, but I ain't heard nothing. I didn't hear nothing this morning.
Within 72 hours, now this is the third big thing. I don't know if you're invested in cryptocurrency or the stock market
Nope.
or looked at a 401k lately, but everything is tremendously spiked. Some
Yeah.
things by 3%, some things by 17%, some things by 30%. There's just an average with different things that spike.
That's
This
cool.
is just
That's
off
cool.
of one movement. Now, here's the other
Yeah.
thing. The people
Shit.
that are about to become in place, you got to look at it. Kennedy, I don't know how I feel about him.
Sell out.
He's about to
He's
be
a
over.
sellout.
He's about to be over the medical, like medical.
He a sellout. No, Trump said he gonna be over everything. Just
The
leave that
FDA,
liquid gold to him. JFK can have everything. Just leave that liquid gold to him. Trump
So
don't
look,
give a fuck.
JFK, here his family is Democratic. Now he ran as an independent, but JFK
Dude, he's
is
a
a
Democrat.
Democrat.
Yeah, he's a Democrat, but he's a Democrat that sold his soul to get into political office.
No, people
They
don't
did.
understand that this run right here, brother. This run right here was a pick from both sides. Trump
No, it
has
wasn't.
no alignment. Trump has no alignment with left or right in this case. He has Democrats and Republicans working for him. Or I guess you could say Democrats that cross the picket line. I guess if that's
JFK is not a legit Democrat or Republican. JFK wanted power because he went to Kamala first and asked for a political position in her cabinet. And when she told him no, that motherfucker switched. He switched heels and went right to Trump. And Trump said yes. And that's when he endorsed Trump. That's the only reason he did it. And he even said that out loud. He said, I went to the Harris Walsh campaign and asked, could I be a cabinet member if I supported y'all campaign? She told him, we still weighing our options. That motherfucker ran straight to Trump. So that means he ain't got no fucking goddamn, he has no standards in what the fuck he's doing. He just wanted to get some power.
He was looking for an opportunity and he got it. He was
Exactly. That means no more.
Are you not? Are you not?
What do you mean?
If somebody's willing to give you $170,000 to $180,000 a year for basically doing nothing, for real,
he was already making that. I mean, he was making more than that. His family got more than that. He wanted power. He wanted power and he wanted to have influence. But that just lets me know, like, people shouldn't ever talk about like flip flopping because that's a super flip flop. You wanted to be the nominee. You figured out that you weren't going to be the nominee. You weren't going to have a chance. So you was like, let me go to the side that I'm more aligned with. And when the side that you more aligned with said that we don't have a place for you, you ran to the opposition. Bro, you a sellout.
Exactly.
You making your daddy name look real bad right now.
And then he wants to represent, independent activists. But I'm gonna say this real quick before I jump off for the night. Now, when it comes to Kamala, that's another show for another story. Another topic, another night. But I'll say real quick, Bean is right. It's a combination of things, just to kind of wrap it up, that first of all, she didn't get the right and the same timeline to campaign like everybody else, like Obama, like Bush, like the rest of them. Biden should have allowed her to campaign. When he decided to go for the second term, he should have went ahead and allowed her to do so in his place, But so it was one of them spontaneous things at the moment. She wasn't expecting it. I've heard her do an interview and talk about it, that he was called to step down. So that plays a big. She had 107 days. It was 100. It was a combination. That was a part of it. Yes, it was.
I'll say it. No, I'll say what the fuck it is. I'll say it, and I ain't got no point to sugarcoat it. America's sexist. They ain't finna have no woman run this country.
That part we know that too. We know that too. Okay, they jealous because she's a woman.
No,
okay, but then second of all, again, there was a combination of things like Bing said. And like I said, I can go on and on and on. It's a time for another show for another night. But I'm just giving my view in a nutshell that there was a lot of deception going on with all these celebrity ass endorsements. You know, they were paid to endorse her. And when the shit hit the fan, them motherfuckers voted for Trump. Let me tell you something. It's not even the fact that she lost, it's how she lost. It was a great defeat. Well, the whole goddamn nation basically went red. So that lets you know it's some shit in the game. For the Democrats. For the Democrats, and I'm gonna mention another thing, what they did kind of fail with the hurricane that just happened in Florida and parts of Georgia, South Georgia area. You know, they didn't go touch the ground and go out there and be more proactive as they should. But they did send out $750. But on the flip side, to her defense, the damage was not as bad as they tried to make it seem. Okay.
This shit was a big thing about messaging and how people portrayed it. And that's why I always give the right props. They get all the props in the world. They can message fear like a motherfucker. And Democrats do not know how to counter that shit with, nah, that ain't really what the fuck it is. The right does a really good job with messaging, scaring the shit out of folks, and mainly white folks, because that's mainly who vote in that party.
Well, this is a white man. This is a white man's country, and that will never change. That's their whole point. They made a statement, but the whole over 90% of the nation was red. They said it was a red wave.
It wasn't 90%, but this is Trump's America now, boy.
It was close to it, 80%. It was a red wave. Which, let me tell you something. Biden and Obama and the previous Democrats had already flipped some of the states over blue. And then, for example, Georgia got bomb threats. Okay, some parts of Alabama got bomb threats and all this and all that. But again, you know, her policies, of course, some people didn't agree with. But it was a combination of things. And then, Trump didn't even have no fucking policies. And at the end of the day, nothing changes. It's white supremacists for the rich and the wealthy, you know, and it's about power. Okay.
You know, black people voted for Trump, right?
Of course. That's what I said. It was a lot of deception going on where they even tricked this lady, you know, because they were paid. I'm talking about celebrities at this point. You know, all the black celebrities that endorsed her, they was paid, and a lot of them, like Beyonce and Jay-Z and them, that's finna have these Diddy indictments coming along. You know, they getting in cahoots with her to try to cover their ass. But guess what?
They got Trump. Like, or why do you think they flipped and voted for Trump? So they can get pardoned, because all them people are on that Diddy list.
Exactly. And then Trump was on the freak off. He was on the videos too.
Look, we speculating right now. We speculating real hard. We don't
know. No. This is these are things that I've seen.
We don't know if any of these people changed their vote.
We don't know if
really
this is true or not. This is all speculation.
Yeah. When it comes down to it, look, I'm being dead serious. I think the basis of why he won is because he played on the fear that a lot of Americans have. He played on messaging that the Republican Party did a really good job. Fox News did a really good job. All these different YouTube channels and all these things. No, they didn't. The Democrats suck it. Here you go. When it comes to comparison of, no, I'm just saying. I didn't get any. To be honest with you, I got a number that they not gonna send nothing to me. Like, I live in the 205 area and I got a 659 number. That I don't get that shit. When it comes to messaging, Republicans are still to this day better at messaging what they want to say, and they get it across to the masses. Fear is a greater reason, like it's a greater message, a greater tool of getting people to come to your side than are doing great and everything.
I can't agree with that, because the Democrats was the Ku Klux Klan.
Well, fear is you control people through two things: fear. Through fear, you can control.
Yeah. Real quick, Ms. Jackson, because I heard a comment, and I do want to get Ms. Ghosty in here. You said the Democrats were the KKK. Who's the KKK now?
I couldn't tell you.
can tell you. I can tell you. You want to know?
That's your opinion. That's how you feel.
It's not my opinion.
That's out
Who
of
the fuck is-
emotion.
Oh, here. It's not an opinion. Who waves Confederate flags and neo-Nazi signs at rallies? Democrats or Republicans?
Both.
Come on, man. Like, we gotta stop the cap.
Republicans.
We gotta look, B. I understand it. It's fine. Look. I don't care. Like, I want people to understand this. I don't give a fuck about either party, but I'm not here to lie about a party. I don't have no affiliation with either one of the motherfuckers. So I sit here and talk shit about both of them. But
So
we're
just-
not gonna sit here and act like the Democrats are the KKK right now. No, the racists support the Republican Party.
Exactly. But
That's
see,
not
just to
saying-
go back to the. Go ahead, Ghost.
Bro, I
real
know
quick,
racist gay
that's
people.
not-
What do you mean?
That's not saying that Democrats aren't racist too.
Yeah,
But-
they got racist people all up in it. It's racist people in there.
But when it comes to like KKK shit, like that's definitely.
Look at-
oh, they on
We
the
talk
right.
about like all white country, like an all white Christian nation, like that's Republican
Would
shit.
not replace us. That's the right. Come on now.
That's not.
We know
That's
what
not
that is.
Republican or Democrat. That's called white nationalism.
And who do they vote for? Like it's like that. It's like that old stand-up
The
comedian.
rich
that's-
and the wealthy, the supreme.
All right, I put it like this.
I forget-
So what
I
if two
forget-
black people ran? What if there was a white Republican and a
Yeah,
black
that can
Democrat?
be a black. That can be a racist black person. It's called Jason Whitlock. But either way, though, like, look,
Who is that?
this is what you call a comedian said. I think Dave Chappelle said it. It's like, look, I'm not calling you racist. I'm just letting you know that the racists support you. So that should tell you about yourself. And we need to be real about that. Like, we got to get out of. I don't know what it is about Americans that we didn't got to the point where we ignore shit. Think about this. This how shitty this country is, and that's why it's on this downfall. This country elected a felon, but this country always talks about law and order. The candidate that is a felon that they elected talks about law and order. And if it's somebody that look like me and Miss Jackson and Mr. Beanie, I know he ain't showing his face. The first thing that happens every time, let him kill a black dude. Well, you know his criminal record. Ain't that the first thing that come out?
Well, all I got to say is, don't ask me what applying for a job or anything of that nature. The checkbox of have you ever been convicted? Hey, that has to go. Don't ask me who would give a damn when the president of the United States is a convicted felon.
I'm pretty sure they're about to change that legislation. I'm pretty sure. That's
Well, Sonny said it on The View, but I just want to say this real quick. So going back to, it's not speculation. I'm looking at the logic. When you have great, powerful, the elites like Oprah Winfrey, Beyonce, and so forth, and the list kind of trickles on down. Even, what's her name? Glorilla, the new artist Glorilla, Meg Thee Stallion, all these new artists as hell. Some of them I know, some of them I don't. My point is,
Moose Knuckles.
all these different Cardi B, you see what I'm saying? And all these different damn followers. I mean, hell, they got 3-4 million. Oprah would have got half the country by a goddamn self. You know what I'm saying? And so the point is, again, like I stated, it's not the fact that she lost, it's how she lost. It was a great defeat. You got over 75-80% of the country that was red. That's why I say it's some shit in the game that we don't know anything about. They basically took that woman goddamn money and flipped the script on her.
I'll tell you what's in the game. It's the simple fact that, like, I'm not saying you have the mindset, but there are a lot of Americans that are surprised with the results of what happened that would be like, man, Beyonce showed at the concert, Glorilla showed up, Megan Thee Stallion showed up. Celebrities don't fucking dictate how anything works in this world.
They were paid to endorse her and to
because they paid them because they thought that could garner voters for them. But they don't understand that motherfuckers are waking up to the mindset like, well, some people are waking up to it. They voted for Trump because he's the biggest celebrity in their mind. Fuck Megan Thee Stallion. Don't nobody go to her concerts. Fuck Glorilla. Don't nobody go to her concerts either.
But I guarantee. But listen,
anyway.
the influence they have on these young people. And all they have to do, hey, you vote for her. If you want to change my life and change your life, this is the woman for it. You see what I'm saying? So they were paid to endorse her. That was supposed to be
Jesus
the
can change your
deal,
life.
but they didn't follow through on their part.
No, they failed to look. They can't. Look,
These
I'm
are
not gonna
just
knock somebody.
politicians.
Like,
They're not God or Jesus
look,
or
just because you pay somebody,
I'm trying.
you think that they have the influence to do something doesn't mean that influence. Like, it's like sports. You pay an athlete because, like, a lot of people think that like NFL, an NFL quarterback coming up on a new contract, he in his last year, he have a good year, they paying him. A lot of people think that they paid this quarterback for the last season that he had. No, the money that they giving to this motherfucker is because of what they think they can produce. But we know more times than not that the motherfuckers don't live up to the contract. Most people don't. So yeah, they could have paid these people to come in and bring in votes for them, hoping that they would bring in votes. But guess what? It didn't work this time.
Because
And
they
maybe
didn't try to. They didn't do their part. That's what my
I
whole
don't even
point
give
is.
a fuck if they tried. I don't give a fuck if they tried. Get your money.
That's
get the
what
fuck
they
on.
took her. I'm telling you what happened. They took her money and flipped the script. They didn't do their part to, you know what I'm saying, to basically tell the motherfuckers to vote for her and get their followers to, come on in behind them. They didn't even do that. They just
don't
went
have
and
real-
performed and showed their face at the campaign.
Jackson, I'm saying they don't have real followers. That's the thing. All the shit,
Man.
all them artists. No, I mean that's serious. All the artists that they brought in there, Cardi B's, the Glorillaz, they have internet fans. They don't have real fans. Like a Lil Kim. Lil
Maybe they
Kim
didn't
coming
go
to
out and vote.
town. Motherfucker gonna come and watch Lil Kim. These new bitches, these motherfuckers that they have out here now, this is fake ass shit. That's manufactured fucking fame. Don't nobody fuck with them.
Okay,
And
so
that's
let's look at Oprah Winfrey and Beyonce
Nobody
alone.
care about her.
That's
Nobody
the
care about
same
Oprah.
thing.
And them two and Kelly Rowland alone. Hell, they had over 3-4 million followers by themselves.
Well, the Beehive
They
is something
don't-
different.
They don't look. They only there when it comes to defending their people. When it comes to actually going out there in real life and doing real action,
No, the
them
Beehive,
motherfuckers
brother.
ain't there. Now the
The
Beehive will get on.
I know, right, but I'm saying you got people that, you have young folks, you got weak-minded motherfuckers. They're a powerful influence. They have the ability to influence millions and millions of people, and that's how they even built their career. So yes, they do have followers, millions of them. And they didn't do anything on their side of the bargain
Listen to what I'm telling you. I'm not denying that they don't have followers. But it's one thing to have followers and it's one thing to have, like, hell, I got 19,000 subscribers on this channel. But if I launch a goddamn clothing line, merch for the channel, all 19,000 ain't finna buy this shit. It's probably gonna be in the 1 percentile of people that actually buy the shit that I would sell. That's the difference. There are a lot of people that will listen to your music and will possibly buy your album. But when you got an initiative that you're trying to get something done on, majority of people ain't fucking with that. You know why? Because the majority of people got their own lives. Majority of Americans didn't fucking vote. Like that's
and
crazy.
that 15 million.
I think
15
it's
million
a different type of caliber of celebrity or something, because we have seen this work. Like Trump made it work with the Elon Musk and the Joe Rogan endorsements.
Different type of celebrity though.
Yeah, so I don't know what kind of people on the left that would be equivalent to that, because I bet I wouldn't be surprised if there were a couple centrists that got convinced to vote for Trump because of Joe Rogan. I would not be surprised.
Look, get a motherfucker that actually done did something in this world that actually means something. Elon Musk, he got Tesla. I don't like the motherfucker. He a piece of shit, and I think he racist as fuck. But Elon Musk done built Tesla, and he has SpaceX.
So people
that's something you can get behind. He got something that you can actually be like, okay, look, he came up with an idea to a certain extent. He hired the people that would make this idea a thing, and now it's a thing. And we see how successful it is. Okay, maybe I'll put my money behind somebody that I've seen has a proven track record. Not a bitch that get on the internet and shake her ass in front of motherfuckers.
And Kamala didn't go on Joe Rogan and them interviews because she knew they were Trump supporters. And she, at that point, she was just focused on endorsing her campaign. The bitch fucked up when she lied about being black.
That's a problem. That's what turned a lot of black.
No,
dudes
she
off.
did. Watch Club Shay Shay. Watch the Shannon Sharp Club Shay Shay show and a couple of other interviews, and she talks about. She identifies herself as an African American woman, and she's Indian. Well, I'm telling you, just watch the interview. She never denied being black.
That's fine. But I'm just telling you, she's
she's Jamaican and she's Indian. That is her race. That's her race, man. Just go read it. Go research it. But it was 15 million. It was 15 million Democrats that did not vote. So that's why Trump made it. 15 million Democrats who did not vote.
Well, and a lot of that, I personally think a lot of that had to do with this fucking Israel-Palestine shit. A lot of the like far left were withholding their vote because they're calling this whole thing a genocide, and they refused to vote for her. And I think that put a big dent in Kamala supporters.
Well, it is a genocide going on, so I will agree with you on that one. And, hey, a real quick shout out to Marcus. He said, yeah, but Joe Rogan endorsed him last minute, like 2 days before the election or 24 hours before it was even confirmed. Look, that's cool too. Like I don't
but that's because she didn't agree. She didn't come on. She said, if I'm not mistaken, she said, I'll come. You have to come to me, and you only have 1 hour or 2 hours or something like that.
Look, Joe Rogan was going to endorse whoever they wanted to endorse, regardless. Regardless of whether she went on.
Kamala who said that.
Look, regardless of whether she went on Joe Rogan's show or not, Joe Rogan, just so y'all know, has the largest platform, the largest podcast in the world. Regardless of whether she went on there or not, Joe has his own views regardless. Just if she would have came on there, that don't mean that Joe would have voted for her. Joe just wanted to get the goddamn conversation because it would have been good for his platform. Joe was always going to vote for goddamn Trump.
And she knew that.
Let's be real about that. It doesn't matter though. It's better for her to goddamn go out there and it's better for her to go out there and get her message out there. But look, she wasn't gonna win regardless. And that's one thing that I was trying my best to hold on to because I don't believe she did. I never thought she did. But I wanted to sit here and fucking argue on both sides of it because I don't like either one of them motherfuckers. And I tried to be fair as much as I possibly could. But America's not electing no fucking woman to be president. And I'm not trying to say that to be sexist or not. That's how majority of Americans view it. Even women. Majority of American women are not going to elect no woman. And she wasn't going to get it. She the bitch over here flip-flopping.
And that's a goddamn shame because any woman who did not support, and any woman, and I want to say this to all the women, any woman who did not support their sister ought to be ashamed of themselves. Because if you hate her, that's how you feel about your goddamn self. But a lot of people did say, hold up, a lot of people did say that they would voted for Michelle Obama. They said
real quick. Why should they be ashamed because they didn't vote for her? Because she's a woman?
She never even identified herself as black.
Okay, I'm responding to what you said.
No, hold on. Everybody, hold up. Should they feel ashamed of themselves because there are women that didn't vote for a woman?
Because you just said she didn't make it because of her gender. So if Kamala was a man, she might have would have made it.
I'm saying it for the masses, period. I'm saying it for the masses, period.
I think what she's trying to say is if there's women who are saying, I'm not going to vote for a female president just because she's female because I don't think a female should run the presidency.
Well, Jordan, Jay just said that. You just said that. You just said a lot of voting.
She's trying to clarify to me what you were saying. She's trying to clarify what you were saying to me. But there's the same thing where somebody wouldn't vote for somebody because of their service.
If Michelle ran, she would have won. The Dems would have won. If Michelle ran.
Okay. The statement was made that ain't no woman gonna be president of the country. She didn't make it because she's a woman. That's the statement that was just made.
It was a bad decision. It was a bad choice.
That's right. So I responded, and I said, every woman that did not support their sister to break barriers, to do this for your daughters, your sisters, or whatever, your aunties and yourself ought to be ashamed of themselves because of the fact that she's a woman. That's what I said.
Downfall of America.
If Michelle ran,
I'm gonna be real. And we all gotta live in reality. It's gonna sound fucked up to say it, but I'm gonna say it.
America's not ready.
Should no woman be in no leadership
Yeah,
position?
because that was a downfall. That would be a downfall.
I mean, that's serious. Should no woman be in no leadership position over no goddamn country?
Well, she's better qualified than the fucking lunatic that's in there now. That's gonna put all y'all motherfuckers' lives in jeopardy. What sense does that make?
He just ended the mob.
There are plenty of female leaders, successful female leaders.
You look at your stock options lately?
She should be in the position.
You seen your stock options lately?
One mic real quick. Like, I just want to say this to y'all. Look, I'm not knocking, but I'm speaking for America. America, the country that we live in. You don't want to be no president in this country. Just don't chalk it up. It ain't about you doing nothing for your daughters or your sisters or none of that other shit. Women are unstable in this country. And everybody fucking knows.
And Trump fucking is?
I'm trying to tell you something. They would rather deal with a felon. And that's why I say America told on itself when they elected him. But America's not dealing with no woman.
And that's why I just make the statement to women. That's why I just said what I said.
It's fine. Just people need to understand it. Stop putting up a female candidate for president. It's not happening. This country ain't going for it. This country will burn in the ground before it put a woman in office.
Because they're jealous. And you know what that shows? They're jealous. They're intimidated.
The ladies were lucky enough to have a vice president at all, even up there at all.
It ain't about no jealousy. It ain't about jealousy. You need to stop saying that shit. It's not about jealousy. It's about competence. And we need to be real.
Competence, and you got a fucking lunatic in there now, man. Make it make sense. Make it make sense.
Even Kamala, but the fact that even Kamala switched, she code switched herself. Go ahead, Jay.
It's the reason I'm gonna show you is the way that you responded to when we're saying it. Like, you lashing out when we're saying this shit. Like, it's the reality.
You're saying it's about competence, Jay, and we have a fucking lunatic in the office. So evidently, it's not about competence. I said what it's about.
It's about sexism. It's about sexism. The country automatically assumes that a woman is going to be less competent than Trump, and that's where our country is right now. And I don't personally agree with that, but I have been saying this. After this election, I have been saying, like, if the Democrats want to win, we probably need to put up a white man, or at least a man, to win. And it really fucking sucks. And I want to, like, change that. But if we want to win, I don't know.
Why do, like, I do have to ask this question for the ladies. Why do women feel like they need to have a female president?
No, I don't feel that way.
Because they want to brag and ego.
Let's look at it like this. I can say how I feel.
Hold up. It's just for the ladies. Jane, what did you say?
So I don't feel like we need one. If there's a good, I feel like there can be a good female president, though. I don't see why there wouldn't be able to be one. But I'm not going to vote for a woman just because she's a woman.
Michelle would be great.
Now I want to go to Miss.
Okay, now it's only common sense. You vote for a person based off their policies, their qualifications, and their character, not their gender, not their race. But unfortunately, that's not reality in the world that we live in. Okay, so people did not vote for her because of her gender, because she's a woman. I say this. Men has been running the country since the beginning of time, and it's fucked up. So let's do something different to get a different result. And women are intelligent, very smart, and she would make a great president if you get the right candidate. I'm not saying Kamala was exactly on point, but if you get the right candidate, she would be a great president.
All right, well, he gonna take this with that point being said. Yeah, the country has been ran by men, but it's been ran by a specific group of men. Like, let's not put that on all men, because Asian men ain't been running this country, Indian men, Native American men, and honestly, we got one black president.
Well, that Ramaswamy dude almost got it. Ramaswamy, the big head alien looking dude.
Yeah, he need to take his bitch ass back to goddamn India and go whatever the fuck over there. Like, he need to take his bitch ass over there. That's where he need to go. But this hasn't been ran by. It's been ran by a select group of men in this country. So we gotta make sure we're honest about that. But the biggest thing when it comes down to it is knowing human nature, and most people know it, regardless of how much in society we try to push back on the human nature that we know, instinctively we know, and that's going to be the biggest issue for women. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not voting for no female president. I'm not. I would say it's kind of fucked up that she lost. As a matter of fact, I ain't gonna say it's kind of fucked up. It is fucked up that she lost being qualified from all the jobs she's had, being a prosecutor, being a DA, being a senator, and all this shit. She lost to a fucking felon. But that lets you know America spoke. And motherfuckers on the Democrat side need to stop playing that game. Stop.
So it's the same scenario. Just like you have racism, just like they put you in the boxing classes from the rich to the poor, and then you have, like Ghosty said, sexism. That's what I meant by jealousy and intimidation. That's what I meant. People want to state, like I said, this is a white man's country, and they want to reign supreme. You know what I'm saying? So they want to keep the suppressed stuck in that box.
But understand this: sexism and racism should not be in the same category. They shouldn't, because there are a lot of things. I'm gonna be dead serious with you, because open the door for your lady. That's sexist. Pay for the first date. That's sexist. Protect your woman. That's sexist.
That's not
but
sexist. That's called chivalry.
No, it's sexist because chivalry only goes one way.
Well, everything is a learned behavior, and it goes both ways.
I'm just being understanding. Racism is bad. Racism is straight up bad. There's no way to work around it. Sexism is, because guess what? When something like here, let's say we're all on the ship together. We're all on the ship. We're on the Titanic. That's what we on. Ship's going down. What do they normally say? Women and children first. That's sexism. But we don't argue against that. Sexism is not bad unless it doesn't benefit somebody.
That's a learned behavior. That's a learned behavior. What you just said. Doing this, we're taught.
That's called sexist. It's called sexist privilege.
I've argued against that since I was a kid.
That's sexism.
No, it's called a learned behavior. You're taught to open the doors for a woman. You're taught to. That's a learned, that's a learned behavior. Just like on the female side, it's a learned behavior that, ladies are supposed to sit with their legs crossed, and ladies are supposed to do this or do that.
Why are women trying to open doors for themselves now?
Because
that's a
women kill chivalry.
Open the door, that's not discrimination, though.
Look, we got a full panel up here. So I want to go around everybody one by one. Yeah, I'm going to go to Beans World first because I know he wanted to say something. Jackson, I got to mute you because you got the echo. But I'm going to go to Beans first, and then I'm going to rotate around. I'm going to hit Ghosty, I'm going to hit Marcus, and I'm going to hit Miss Lena, and I'm going to come back to you, Miss Jackson. So Bean first, give me your, go ahead and spat out. Go ahead.
Well, I'll put it like this. I mean, it just, what are we hitting on first? I mean,
whatever you want to hit on, because we talked about a lot of things. So you can hit whatever point you want to hit.
Well, as far as like the chivalry goes, man, that goes beyond back before. That's like from like the Knights and stuff like that, man. That's like Knights Templar, like that's way back, man. That's like being courteous. I can't say that that's sexist because that's a new world term. But those are things that we were, as men, taught to do: protect, lead, be the providers, the foragers, the hunters. You know what I'm saying? The women were always supposed to be the ones that were the gatherers, the nurturers, the ones who tended to the flock. And even in, I guess you could say, animal
definition of sexism, right?
Break it down. What's your definition?
Sexism means that one group, one sex of people does one thing, and one sex of group does another.
I mean,
you just broke down pretty much what you just said was sexist.
Yeah.
That's not sexism. That's not what that means.
It is. No, that's
I think it is, yeah.
That's literally what sexism is. Women do this, men do this. That's sexism.
Or me opening the door for my wife, me opening car doors for my wife,
It's a certain double standard. That's it. I don't know why people think it's complaining.
Well, I wouldn't let my wife pump my gas unless I had a broken leg or something.
It's only sexist when women decide it doesn't benefit them. Men are not the ones out here claiming.
That's a fact.
I'm
Like
telling
that-
you, I
look,
fucking agree as a woman right now.
Yeah, like look,
Jesus.
that's what, like, and I keep hearing you, Jane. I'm glad.
We're not even pressuring you either, Ghost.
Look,
It's alert
bullshit.
behavior.
Sexism is only sexism when women disagree with it, when it doesn't benefit them. Sexism
No.
That ain't true. It's alert
Sexism-
behavior though.
Sexism is like superiority based upon gender. The same as racism is superiority based upon race. That's what sexism is, and that's what I just looked up, and that's what the sexism means.
I got you.
I just found a definition.
Hey, Lena, I got you. So is it sexist to say that women are better nurturers than men? Got your ass. Shut that
No,
dumb shit up.
Exactly.
No.
Like exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes, it
why
is.
why do people gotta like
say
front or
that.
be politically correct or just go like this full like bullshit fucking narrative? Like, it's okay to
Sexism
fucking admit
is
it.
Kamala Harris didn't make it because she's a woman. That's sexism.
No, to say
Well,
that
no,
women-
Kamala Harris didn't freaking do it because she couldn't handle being an actual politician and being in the hot seat like that.
What
That
if
is
it's
a form
2024
of
and what if she identified as a man?
Look, there are
If she was a man, she probably would have
She would
made
be
it.
like trans, the Transformers community.
Real quick. There are multiple forms of what sexism can be. That word is so broad. It has a big ass bubble inside of it. A lot of things can be sexist, whether they're good or whether they're bad. But sexism has a broad standard. To say that women are better nurturers of kids, that's sexist. To say that men automatically should be the providers all the time is sexist. We deal with that shit. The only time that we have
I
an
don't think
issue
saying that
with
men should be providers, technically the way you're saying it, is sexist. Sexism means superior. If you say something is better, like better nurturing, technically that is sexism because
Lena,
you're
that
saying
is
something is superior versus something. That's the
Lena.
actual definition of sexism.
Lena,
It
that is the
means
new
superiority, that you have a belief in superiority based upon sex.
Lena,
That's the exact definition when I looked it up.
Lena, that is the new definition that they just put into the Webster Dictionary. They've been changing a lot of definitions, and you know that.
So I understand where Lena's coming from, but the way, like, so where I'm coming from, what I look at sexism is treating someone or having certain expectations on someone a specific way because of their gender. So if a man's willing to open a door for a female but not a male, technically that's like sexism in a way. And if you really want to break it down, if you want me to go like ultra radical feminist, it'd be like, oh, well, why are men doing that? Because women are weaker, so like men are supposed to open doors, and women are like meeker, so they shouldn't pump the gas, you know? So I could break this down into a negative way too. I'm not saying that's like how I see it, but it is sexism because you're treating women a certain way based on their sex, or you're treating men a certain way based on their sex.
Okay, then we might as well be like ageism is bad. Like, okay, don't open doors for the elderly or anything like that. We do that because we know either the door is too heavy or they're in a wheelchair. You should be like, oh, you can open the door. The age doesn't prevent you from opening the door because you're in a wheelchair or disabled. All of that. You can assume how's it harmful? If you make it a big deal out of opening a door and it's based upon sexism, something is really wrong.
We never said it was harmful, Lena.
I personally was referring to
Jackson. I'm gonna come to you right next. I want to explain this. We're not making a big deal about sexism. Men are not the ones who make a big deal about sexism because we understand that the world is sexist. Women give women in certain situations better understanding or more leeway or more grace than they would a guy in that exact same situation. Vice versa, when guys are in a situation, guys will give guys more grace in that situation. I'm saying out loud, the world is fucking sexist. The people inside of it are all sexist. But to use that term as a negative term when everybody participates in sexism on a day-to-day basis is bullshit. It's
I would say
bullshit.
not all sexism is bad.
Facts.
I don't think all sexism
there's
is
good
totally bad.
sexism. There's good sexism. When somebody break into that motherfucking house, I believe every man should go downstairs and defend that shit and protect his wife and kids. That's sexism. But I believe
okay, then there's good racism. There's good racism.
No, Lena, that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Affirmative action. That is good racism.
Lena, you gotta stop doing that shit. You using your female brain right now.
That's
and
kind of
I'm
a
saying
good
it to
point,
be
though.
Hey, real quick,
I'm
JBJ.
saying it to be
Real
what's
quick,
up?
JBJ. Is there an issue when comedians joke about racism?
No, you're a comedian joke about it. Everything's funny. Everything's on
You
the
know what I'm
board,
saying?
in my opinion.
But you know what I'm saying? But like, I get it when there's like actual blatant rough, disrespectful as racism. Then there's that sarcastic, you know, I'm cool with you. Jake can say something about Mexicans. I don't give a shit. I'll laugh. Hopefully I can say something about, you know, black people here with chicken, you know, all that shit. But he can say something about tacos. I don't give a
People
shit.
laugh at sexist women jokes.
But you know,
too, dude, all the
but I'm
time.
not gonna mean it in a harmful, disrespectful way where I'm just gonna say like FJ, and I'm not gonna, you know, I don't give a shit who you are because of the color you see.
Marcus, you already know, just like I know. Me and you both was in the Marine Corps. It really ain't what people say majority of the time. It's how they say it. How they present what they're saying. So I'm like, I can be like, man, fuck them goddamn Mexicans. All they want to do is eat all the tacos. Motherfucker know I'm joking.
Nope.
And you be like, man, these goddamn black people eating up all the chicken. They eating up all the chicken. And I know you joking. Because motherfucker, who don't like chicken and who don't like tacos? Like, we know this. We've been around people. But to their point, it's like to Lena's point, Lena, you're coming from it from an emotional argument, and I get it. But you need to tone that shit the fuck down. That cat need to be fucking corralled for a second, because sexism isn't a bad word, and I would never put sexism in the same category with racism.
But she kind
I
of
would
made a
never
good
do
point,
that.
though. She kind of made
What
a
was
good
her point?
point. Like a lot of people have a problem with DEI and affirmative action, and technically that is based on racism. You're right.
Yeah, racism's bad. Yeah, racism's bad.
But isn't
How's
like
that compared to
lots of people are trying to say that DEI and affirmative action is racist. That's like an argument that I hear all the time.
Yeah, I do. I hear that from the right. But how does that compare to sexism?
It's like technically a positive form of racism, right?
Well,
it's only because the corporations and business are gonna make money off of it too, though. That's why.
Yeah, like we are dabbling into the free market, but when it comes to correcting a wrong, you have to take from the bad to create that positive outcome. And I know that's one of the biggest conundrums that stops a lot of progress, especially in America. It's like, oh, we know that America enslaved these blacks. We know that America tried to genocide these Native Americans. But if we give these Native Americans and these blacks advantages, that would be racism against us. That's the goddamn person that stole from you, gaslighting you into believing that you should get nothing. That's what that is. Because even God said, eye for an eye. Like we got to be real about it. Motherfuckers be using arguments to try to play it back on you. Like, well, if you said it's wrong that I did it, well, after the fact that I did it to you, and that's the one part they leave out, then it'll be wrong for you to do it to me. No, motherfucker, we gonna get that get back. And it needs to be a get back. That's the reason that America has a problem when it comes to a lot of the different races in this country. That's why America it's going to continue to crumble, because we want to address that issue. It's not racism to promote a group of people after you've done years of demoting them and promoting your own, because you can't just say, look, man, we did 400 years of keeping y'all down, but now we're gonna be like, yeah, we're gonna take all the restrictions off of y'all after we done got 400 years of building our shit up and be like, yeah, it's all fair. It's just not the same. It's not the same. Like, I guess intentions matter. Does that make sense? Intentions matter for why you're doing it?
Of course.
No, yeah.
Of course.
I do agree. I do think sexism and racism are vastly different things.
Hey, I just wanted to say too, though, like, you know, quote, when it happens to the whole Joe Rogan thing, Joe Rogan wanted to have both candidates on there because he wanted to act, and he said it himself out loud. My role and my job and the purpose of my podcast is to humanize people and have the conversation. And Kamala's team and themselves, they said they wanted to limit it to an hour or less than an hour and a half and control the questions. And certain questions weren't being allowed to be even asked to her if Joe Rogan were to even bring it up or something. And he had to fly out to her, and it's like, no, if we're going to do the podcast, we're going to do it on my podcast in my studio. We're going to have a free flowing conversation, and it's not going to be like a debate or anything like that. Just like he had it with Trump, he was going to have it with Kamala, but Kamala and the team didn't want to have that. That's honestly why. You know what I'm saying?
From what I hear is she declined it, and what the way it was perceived to me is because she is, it was I guess perceived to her as well that he's a Trump supporter and it was going to be more like a debate. So I guess she didn't trust, or maybe they didn't feel comfortable enough that it was just going to be an open conversation. And then the fact that she had such a short period of time to run her race, I think she was more focused on endorsing her campaign and capitalizing on her policies and so forth. So,
but but you think about it, right, Miss Jackson? No, I don't want to botch your first name. I don't know how to.
It's Kanique.
Kanique, yeah.
Miss Jackson.
Kanique. Well, yeah, because every time I say Miss Jackson, I think about Outkast. My bad. I'm an Outkast fan.
Jay say that, but my name is Kanique.
All right. Well, nice to meet you, Kanique. I'm Marcus.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think if anything, if she was smart, and I'm not trying to respect her or anything, but she would have took advantage of that platform and endorsed the people that was helping endorse her and push her policies, whatever they align with, and her supporters. That would have been a great opportunity, but she decided to, or her team, at least the people who were behind her and trying to talk in her ear, they probably persuaded her to not go. So if it was up to her, I believe she would have gone on the show, but I think the people in her ear told her, nah, don't go. And especially if he's not going to come over here and do it in our time program, because when you do an hour, it feels more rushed. But if you have 2.5, 3 hours, you can talk about anything. You can be relaxed. Joe Rogan doesn't want to dehumanize you or attack you. He wants to first sit down and get to know you and because I've been watching Joe Rogan for like 10 plus years. I even knew Joe Rogan before when he was on news radio and doing the UFC, because I'm a big UFC fan. Me just doing MMA and growing up boxing.
I knew him when he was doing Fear Factor.
Fear Factor too. So even think about that. Like he got inspired by going on someone else's couch, doing an online podcast back in website browser, and they were just having a couple beers, having the boys right there, just chilling. And so that's what I honestly think. If she could have tried that, maybe she could have had a even better chance to to actually win or tie it up or something to run the score up. But I mean, hey.
Can we all do this?
Saying that.
Can we all do this? Man, let's not talk about how this bitch could have won. Tough off. They're gonna move on to the next candidate, and it is what it is. If the Democrats cannot figure out how to message and actually get across to the American public, because the Democrat Party is usually the party that brings in people from every fucking group, because they unite people around a common goal. If they can't figure out how to win an election against a goddamn 32-time fucking felon, them bitches are failing. They're failing at their job. They lost to a felon. This country elected a fucking felon. And I don't care how many people feel about, well, they just came after him and all this. They come after a lot of motherfuckers on a day-to-day basis. And we don't hear nobody shedding no tears over that. They lost to probably the worst candidate this country has ever seen. That's egg on their face. The Democratic Party sucks. They might want to figure it the fuck out. Stop pushing all, and I'm saying this to be real, and I'm not saying it to hurt nobody fucking feelings. I'm just saying it to be real. If they want to win some fucking elections, get off the LGBTQ shit, get off the abortion shit, and get on shit that affects everybody, including all those people with the LGBTQ and people like that. Focus on those issues, because it's gonna affect more people. Like, bitch, you need your goddamn gas to be cheap. You need your goddamn paycheck to be more. You need to not be taxed as much. You need all of these things. Stop focusing on small groups that you think is going to win you a fucking election. And then they did that, and then they lost. This man over here lying to you. I know he lying. He ain't finna do a goddamn thing for you. But guess what? What he was talking about is what more people could relate to than what the fuck she was talking about.
Yeah, she should have focused on the economy, about how Joe Biden actually pulled us out of a terrible position and put us in the best economy compared to the rest of the world. I don't know why she didn't try to dispute all of Trump's claims about the worst economy in history, blah, 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 blah. We have like actually a pretty good economy right now. Just because there was global inflation doesn't mean that we didn't do a good job. Compared to the rest of the world, we are the best actually. We have very low unemployment rates.
Yeah.
She should have like combated that more instead of I agree, like focusing on niche issues. But also I think the point is like with the MAGA campaign, like Trump can do no wrong. We have people debating on fucking whether hurricanes are real or not right now.
I'm not gonna lie.
It's really hard
Listen,
to combat that when we can't brainwash people in the same level.
I'm not gonna lie though. When Trump survived more than one assassination attempt and put that fist up and had 50 Cent's "Many Many Men" remix, it's kind of, come on, man.
Marcus,
I'm not gonna lie, bro.
That shit, man. He staged that first one.
No, whether it's
like,
true
whatever.
or staged or whatever, bro. The moment when you threw that fist up, hey, when you threw that fist up, I'm just saying, man, the theatrics.
Yeah. He knows that, like, they know, like, that's one thing that I will say. The Republican Party, the Conservative Party knows the American public better
They vote
than
on
the
vibes.
Democrats do.
They literally vote on vibes. They vote on vibes. That's what they vote on. They don't give a fuck about policy. They don't give a fuck about solutions. All you say is immigration is bad and prices are high. I have no solution to tell you about it, but you agree with me, right? So you'll vote for me. And it's fucking stupid.
It's what people don't know.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, prices are high.
Well, I was gonna say what people don't know.
Tariffs are gonna help that? You think a fucking 20% sweeping tariff is gonna help?
Look, hell, hold that thought. I want to see what Ms. Jackson had to say, and I know Bean been over there quiet for a second, so I'm going to go to him next. Go ahead, Ms. Jackson.
Well, I was just gonna say, I know what people don't know is Trump is actually a Democrat. If you can Google that, his interview with Oprah Winfrey in 1988, and he said that if he would ever, she asked him the question. He said if he ever ran for president, that he will run the Republican Party, but he actually is a Democrat.
All right, Bean, are you still there? All right, Bean ain't there. All right, we got Red up in here. I want to get Red real quick, and then I'll let it fluster again, because Red gonna say something that's gonna trigger a lot of people. Red, what you got?
No, actually, I'm not here to rub anything in your face. I didn't vote for Trump.
See, he said something that was triggering. What you mean, rub it in our face?
I'm already triggering you. But anyway, I didn't vote for Trump because I wasn't a big fan of the campaign this go around.
You didn't vote at all. Just tell the truth. You ain't vote at all. You told me you weren't gonna vote, just like me. I didn't vote.
Yeah, and I didn't support the Trump campaign because I have big problems with it. Right now, the big problems are with the administration, who they're getting in there. But overall, I don't think it's going to be. It's going to be one way or the other. It's not going to be a paradise in this country overnight. And at the same time, it's not the end of the world. It's not Project 2025, right? He's not going to throw gay people off of buildings, put people back in chains. The new thing is he's going to lock people up into crystals. Have you heard this?
Hey, I do want to ask you a question, because I know you got your ear to the street when it comes to shit. Tell me, am I lying? And y'all, everybody on the panel can tell me if they think this is true or not. But not even probably 2 months after he's elected, we will see him on TV saying that we have the best economy the United States has ever had. Anybody agree?
Yeah, I mean, he does. He did that every day.
Oh, he gonna tell that lie.
The best this country has ever seen before.
I'm just saying, because I'm like, I just want to.
That's how you sell it.
I want to throw it back in the diehard Trump supporters, like they'll because pretty much y'all know the campaign how he talked. The economy sucks. Everything's terrible, and I'm just like, man, let it be 2 months before he passes any policy, before anything gets in there. And y'all know it takes years for shit to even get enacted. He's gonna come out like he did the first time when he got the economy from Obama, and he'll be like, man, the economy's great. It's never been better than ever.
Keep in mind, we have RFK. We have RFK in there now. So once he gets involved in the FDA, things will change immediately. Elon Musk and the efficiency board, things will change immediately in that regard. And if Trump isn't bluffing and he ends the Ukraine conflict, that's a whole load of money we can start saying, hey, now it's pumping back into our economy.
Wait, but you just said something. We have an anti-vaxxer as head of the health department.
That's right. That's
An
right.
anti-vaxxer is going to be
No,
head
he's not.
of the U.S. Health Department.
He's vaccinated. All of his children are vaccinated except for one.
Yeah, but he advocated against it, just like Trump. Like Trump didn't believe in vaccinations. But
It's not.
Yes,
It's
he
not
did.
just it's not just
What are
the
you talking
COVID
about?
vaccine.
He
It's
came
all
out with the
vaccines.
vaccine.
No. Trump during his presidency, and see, this is the thing. Well, we got to start being real.
He just wasn't pro mandate.
No. He was not for the vaccine, but you give him
Of
credit.
course he was. When did Trump say he wasn't for the vaccine?
Multiple times. He said it's like the flu. It is past week. This motherfucker did everything to tell people to inject blood
No.
in their body.
No.
Bullshit.
But he
did
after
He
Operation
was
Warp
talking about the
Speed,
bleach shit.
he was totally pro-vaccine.
Look, okay, here you go. He was for it eventually. After he told people to do all these other things and not take the vaccine.
Yeah, and the bleach and the horse paste, all that was debunked.
Look, he
Piss
was
on
telling him
yourself
to
in
take
the
that horse
shower.
that horse steroid and shit. Aaron Rodgers took it. He was on fucking goddamn McAfee bragging about it. Yeah, I'm on that ivermectin.
Yeah, it's called ivermectin. You can get it over the counter. It's antiviral.
I had someone come on my stream and tell me that they pee into a cup and they pour the urine over their body every time they take a shower. It's called like urine therapy.
Cool.
And they believe in this shit.
Okay, that's
I'm
you're just associating that with some wacko.
Hey, look,
He believes in
real
the
quick.
bleach shit. He believes in all the same fucking crazy QAnon.
Can we
public-
can we stop? Can we grow up?
No, he just look. We're just trying to he's just putting out the point that Trump has these crazies out here believing shit like
No,
that.
read his book. Read RFK Jr.'s book. He's actually sued all of these multiple pharmaceutical companies, and he's won.
Look, I'm not talking about RFK. I'm not talking about RFK. I'm just talking about the gravitas of Trump having people believe shit like that, because we had people out here literally contemplating. Like, remember when that shit popped off, they had people calling the CDC and asking them, can they inject their body with bleach? Like, that literally happened. Like, we can't have revisionist history. So I'm saying Trump has a lot of pull when it comes to shit like that. But to her point, I think what Jane was getting at is, we have somebody that is reckless that's going to be over a department that's going to affect a lot of Americans. I think that was her point.
We'll see. We'll see.
I just wanted to mention this real quick, Red. No, I just want to say that I think the reason why Trump won, and also the fact that Kamala blew it, is clearly her resume, especially with the Innocence Project and the lawyers that came out, like the Joe Rogan podcast, and talked about how she was blockading innocent, falsely imprisoned, falsely convicted people, especially ones who were on death row, and knowing that she was the one blockading that evidence, very substantial evidence to free these men that she had locked up while being a corrupt, district attorney and act general. And that, and the fact that, you guys remember that rally where they said Jesus is Lord, and then she said, "Oh, I think you're at the wrong rally." That made her lose votes and made her lose certain people, and then gain votes for Trump. Things like
the
that.
Popular vote.
You know what I'm saying? Plus the electoral vote, the popular vote, all those, clearly adding up, and then boom, like it was gonna happen because it was a formula for disaster that Kamala, and her team. And I don't know why, hey, they probably talked to her at the end when she said, "Well, why, what would you think of saying that? You shouldn't have said it like that." And when she tried to correct it, it was already too late. Damage control.
She responded
they
to
were
that
not
person
prepared.
because he was a Trump supporter. That's why she made the statement, "I think you need to be at the wrong rally," because
No, it wasn't a Trump supporter. They were saying Jesus is king, and in Dearborn they were saying
they were protesting against abortion.
Accountable for what they say.
Well, there's protesting against her policy abortion.
But to your point, Marcus, that probably swayed the popular vote. I think what actually won of the election was the Pennsylvania Amish and the Catholic vote in the other swing states, because they showed out in record numbers. And
I will say
and the Catholics, we really saw a big turnout with Latino voters.
Well, here you go. Look, I will say this. Look, black men better not get the goddamn blame for why she lost. That's all I need to know. Like,
it's really
I'm already seeing it.
Well, they already have, bro. They've been making videos about they've been calling black people, Latino people, men and women, they've been calling them all like some level of traitors, and I'm like, wait a minute, and listen, this is just my belief, right? And this is not just me just being a veteran and all that kind of shit. It's just being an American citizen and paying taxes. I'm gonna say it how somebody else said it before me. You vote whoever the fuck you want to vote for. If they align and help your policies and what you believe, then fine, go for it. Tough titty. If I'm going to vote who I want to vote for, I'm voting for them because I see certain policies that are going to benefit us as, people, myself, my family, and whoever on so forth. But, that's just how I believe, man. If you want to go and vote for RFK or Kamala, even Bernie Sanders, whatever it was, because at one point I was going to vote for Bernie. One point I wanted to vote for RFK just because I knew it wasn't Kamala or Trump,
Well, did you see Bernie Sanders? He made a great statement that I actually agreed with. He said the reason the Dems lost is because they abandoned the average working class.
That is true. I can agree with that. One thing I want to point out, and this is my little shot at the people on the right, because I know I got some people on the right that watch from time to time. When Trump was running, and he was going against Hillary Clinton. And then also when Trump was running, he ran against Joe Biden. One of the biggest talking points that I got from the right, and I tell y'all, the right is very good at messaging. They talked about age. They talked about age of a president. Well, do y'all know when Trump is inaugurated, he will be the oldest president ever inaugurated to be the president of the United States?
Yep.
But he's representing the party that said they didn't want nobody that was old.
Well, that was also the same party that elected Ronald Reagan, who was the second oldest.
But guess what, though? I'm just saying, though, they was basing it off of Ronald Reagan and saying that disqualifies somebody, but now they elect somebody that's older than Ronald Reagan.
Well, Ronald Reagan was obviously more qualified than the other candidate at the time.
Well, Ronald Reagan was also popularly known because he was an actor, right?
Yeah, he had the California vote, he had the Dem vote, but it's really the age thing. That's a non.
He was a nice
it's more about competence, and age does relate to competence. Like Joe Biden, we could obviously see deterioration at the beginning of the presidency.
You can't see that shit with Trump right now. But either way, I'm not trying to go into that rabbit hole.
JVJ, but, you know that Biden's worst enemy is stairs, bro.
Nah, his worst enemy is what happened yesterday. My bad. What happened 5 minutes ago?
No, I think he voted for Trump.
Look, what I'm gonna say is, and this is a good thing that I think Americans could look at, because I try to look at this situation as one good thing or one good thing. Glass half full on either side. My side for Kamala winning was because I wanted to see the Trump supporters lose their fucking mind and do something crazy. Because they keep talking about they want a civil war. So I'm like, man, let's get this shit popped off. I got guns in my house and I got dogs. So I'm like, let's get it popped. But on the other side, when it comes to Trump, it's like, we can do these 4 years. This country's not going to go to shit all together in these 4 years because of him. Now, he going to do some crazy shit. I can tell you that right now. I ain't going to lie. But we can do that and get past it because he can't run again unless he do crazy shit.
There's also a degree of accountability with Trump that we wouldn't have had with Kamala. And what I mean by this is that, it's two hands, playing against each other. They're all in the same boat. But I feel like the powers that be, and when I say that, the military-industrial complex, Liz and Dick Cheney, Goldman Sachs, all the people that wanted Kamala, they wanted the quote-unquote woman of color face in the White House. Because like you saw with Obama, when you have a brown face in the White House, you can bomb a lot more people and get away with it.
Well, here you go. With Obama, let's be real, though. Obama's probably the last real legit president that we done had.
You mean the war criminal?
What would you consider George Bush?
A war criminal too.
Exactly. And guess what? Most
Bill Clinton.
presidents, most American
Dude, we're fucking America.
Donald
we
Trump
are the war
was a war criminal, man. Joe Biden was a war criminal. Like everybody act like these motherfuckers. Like you hear about
that's my point. That was exactly my point. I don't think you understood my point. I'm saying because it's Donald Trump and the media hates him, there's going to be a higher degree of accountability.
No. The higher degree of accountability flowed on Obama. That's why I say Obama was the last one. Like, for real, do you think America, I literally still to this day hear some of my white brethren and sisters say, Obama stoked the flames of racism by becoming president.
I mean, Patrice O'Neill said that.
I will say this too, JBJ. The issue I had with Biden and Kamala was the fact when they were giving aid bill money to different countries, foreign countries, when we could have took care of our fellow Americans here
Put
first.
Put that on Biden though, man. Like for real, no bullshit. And that's the funny thing. That's why I tell y'all. And Jane, I'm
say it with the border though. I will say the bullshit with the border too.
I'm gonna say it, and Jane, I'm coming to you next. That's why I say Republicans are very good at messaging, because when Biden first got elected, they talked about Kamala like she was a dog and said she didn't do nothing. And then when that bitch became the nominee, this bitch doing everything. So I'll just be like, Republicans are really good at messaging. Yeah, but Jane, you got it.
When we talk about aid, like old military weapons and shit. Now I understand like we can spend like less money and stuff on this shit, but I also don't think being an isolationist country is a good thing. It is good to supply like our allies with our old military equipment and whatever. And that's what most of the aid is. It's not just money.
Jane, but multi-billion dollars though, and the fact that we have our issues, we ourselves though. Before we can go fix someone else's house, we have to fix our own house first.
Well, it's not even that. The point is, if we weren't funding these countries, if we weren't giving these billions of dollars to all these countries and weapons, they wouldn't have these conflicts in the first place.
Yeah, you wouldn't start a fight if you knew them motherfuckers had guns over there and all you had
exactly. If you know you got a blank check from the U.S., you're going to be a lot more ballsy in your region.
Facts.
Well, that's America has always been.
No, go ahead, Jackson. Go ahead.
I was saying America has always been, that's the hypocrisy that she never takes care of her own. It's always about others.
And see, this is where with that statement and what all of y'all said, this is what I want Americans to be about. That's why I covered the video about the cops, the policing in our own country, and how it's a blind eye turn to the violation of the citizens that fund this bitch. Our country spends money, trillions. I don't even know what number come after trillion, but I know the motherfuckers spending that shit on
quadrillions.
Fucking with people all around the world. And look, I tell any of these motherfuckers that think we talking crazy, I tell them take their ass to a good old Southern Black Baptist church, and you'll hear that good old gospel hymn of sweep around your own motherfucking door before you try to sweep around mine, because that's what we need to do. We got Americans that literally are on the edge. That's why a lot of motherfuckers stormed the Capitol on January 6th. I ain't gonna say, like, I understand Trump hyped them up for it, but a lot of people are angry. And the funniest thing is, when this country is about to fall and when this country is on the edge, is when white folks start losing their motherfucking mind.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because the biggest metric, if you look historically for a civil war popping off, is when the average age of marriage passes 28. Every time that happened in history, there's a major civil war, conflict, plague, etc.
So you guess I'm telling you this, Red. I don't know nothing about that shit. All I know is I know how white people move because I've been around them my whole life. And when I've seen that the Asians went through things, internment camps or whatever, the Native Americans went through things. Genocide, getting they little land, and then the motherfuckers taking that shit, and now they own all the casinos almost. When the fucking the Indians went through their shit, when the Irish came over here, even though they still white, they still white. I don't know why
they got pretty mad too.
Yeah, I'm saying like they acting like they ain't white. That's white on white violence. But when the blacks went through their shit, now you see white folks in America losing their motherfucking shit. That's when you know your country is about to fall, because everything that done happened in this country is white folk fault. And I'll be honest with you, I just say it's white man fault. Like, because I know the white women don't want to take no accountability for this shit. You know they're right behind them, cheering them on. Look, it's all white man fault. When these motherfuckers lost their mind with what they built and what they created, that's when you knew you had a fucking problem.
Yeah, maybe you should take notes.
Now look, if this shit, look, we are in those. We ain't dealing with them. Look. We got them passports, nigga. Ain't nobody playing around that shit. But look, when you see this shit, we know that we are at a point now. And this is the cherry on top of the cake. You put a motherfucking felon in the office. You put a motherfucking felon. We had people suck up their so-called morals, their so-called values. You got Christian people vote for this motherfucker, and this motherfucker has been married seven, 8 times. Like,
he
let's be
cheated
real.
on his pregnant wife with a fucking stripper.
Like coming it up with champagne.
That's how you know how bad the other candidate was.
Yeah, look, that lets you know how. That lets you know how fucked up America is.
People are.
You know, I want to bring this up because I think it was Colbert, Stephen Colbert. He said this on his show, and we all know the nighttime shows are completely paid off. But he said, "Well, now we know the majority of this country isn't for democracy," and I found that really interesting because
he needs to shut the fuck up.
If most of the people in a country, hypothetically speaking, don't want democracy, then what is democratic?
See, he need to stop speaking like he's speaking for the masses. Majority, I would say, overwhelmingly majority of Americans want democracy. The problem is, most Americans want the distribution of information to be controlled. They don't want the democracy in the sense
I don't think they want that either. I don't think most people understand what democracy even is. If they did, they'd understand how contradictory it is.
Yeah, the reason that a lot of people think democracy is what the fuck they hear from news networks. They want to control the flow of information. That's what they want to control. That's where that
the
whole
news networks,
PC, that PC culture shit.
Like when they say we must protect our democracy. Like, what the fuck does that even mean? Democracy and politics means the exact same thing. But when we say democracy, it's good. But when we say politics, it's bad.
Full of stupid, man. Let's just be real. A lot of Americans are stupid. And all of us on this panel right now are stupid in some sense of the word when it comes to the grand scheme of how this country should be ran. We're all dumb in one aspect of it. But the problem is we got so many dummies putting people in place of power. And these people in place of power understand that the people that put them there are dumb. So they do whatever the fuck they want. And they've been doing it for years. That's why when they run on a campaign and say they're going to do things, and I'm telling everybody, I got a list. I got a list for Trump. He said he's going to do some things. I'm mainly only focusing on 3 things. I want to see this motherfucker do it. I don't give a fuck about that on day one. I'm deporting all these motherfuckers. He ain't gonna do that shit. I know he ain't gonna do that. But I want to hear about that overtime pay not being taxed. I want to hear about that Social Security not being taxed. If he matter of fact, I'm just gonna stick on them 2. I'm just roll with those 2. If he can get that shit done, I'm cool with it. Oh, tips. Yeah, that was the 3rd one. Tips. I don't work for tips.
But if he doesn't get that shit done, I will say F Trump, because I was like, you can't be doing that shit. And like, if people put their hard-earned money and then like the taxes, voting, like,
and a lot of people voted for him, and a lot of people on the right weren't fucking with Trump this time around because we didn't hear the same things that we heard and we saw what happened in 2016. And now he's saying a lot of different things. He wants more legal migration than we had. Like, slow down, dude. He said a lot of things to get in office.
But
the point is,
part out loud.
Well, the point is, he says whatever he wants to get elected. But the point is, the right is pretty fractured right now, and the left isn't that fractured. So if Kamala won, they would have supported her no matter what. She could do no wrong. You have a lot of people on the right.
That's not true.
Very dissatisfied.
No,
dissatisfied.
Dang. He ain't lying. Like, there's a lot of people on the right that don't like that motherfucker.
I talked to a lot of left people, and there are a lot of fractured left people who were not cool with a lot of.
But Jane, if you were to balance out the people that on the left and on the right that were to say, hey, the one person does wrong, they'll definitely hold their feet to the fire, and if the person would have won opposite, would not be the same exact. They make excuses for one side and the other.
I mean, I know a lot of right-wing people who didn't vote for Trump because he didn't want 2025, because he disavowed it.
I'm gonna say this to Jane Point, and then I'm gonna go around to everybody and give final thoughts and let y'all just look. I'm gonna give y'all time. I'm not gonna cut y'all off and don't nobody interrupt anybody. But to Jane's point, if you can really look at it one way or another, like and this is the way I look at it. The right is the men's party. You look at the left, that's the women's party, and everybody else that want to be on some other shit. There are more people, like you notice when you deal with women, I bet money you would rather deal with men than deal with women. And if you on a day-to-day schedule, like to get shit done, you would probably rather deal with men because men will argue, and there could be fractures here and there about what the men are doing. But when you get with a lot of women, oh man, everybody got their own little group. Everybody got their own little group. And they will partition people to their group and shame on a gaslighter to be in their group or be the fuck out of their group. But I'm actually gonna go to, matter of fact, let me see. Matter of fact, I'm gonna start with Bean because he ain't been here for a while. I ain't heard him. Bean, are you still there? Bean.
He's muted.
Yeah, Bean ain't here. Oh, there he go. I had to kick him out. He ain't here. That motherfucker doing something else. All right, so we got 2 guys, we got 2 ladies. All right, we gon' Jane, pick a number 1 through 5.
6. No, I'm just kidding. 3.
All right, Marcus, pick a number 1 through 5.
8.
1 through 5. What the fuck is wrong with y'all?
Well, because she said 6, but I thought we were doing 8. But I get what she said 6 now. 3.
That's what
All
I
right,
said.
ladies go first. All right, boom. Here we go. We gonna start
Wait,
with
we
Miss
both
Jack.
picked 3.
Yeah, I know. I'm just giving it to the ladies now. So ladies are going first. But guess what, Miss Ghosty?
Man,
I'm
you should have
switching
said
up.
4.
Look, we going to
I was
Miss
gonna
Jackson
say 1.
first.
Fuck that.
Y'all motherfuckers suck at guessing numbers. I swear y'all do. I told my sister, hey, never mind. I'm not gonna tell y'all about that. Either way, we going to Miss Jackson first. Get her final thoughts on the night. Everything you want to get off your chest. You want to talk about the election. The cop videos are kind of like past conversation with her the fuck. But go ahead, give me your final thoughts for the night.
All right, final thoughts for the night. To touch on the subject of the cop video, you know, it just goes to show that America has a long way to go, you know, and police brutality is real. We have a lot of people that are victims. I myself have experienced that, and I'm also an activist for it as well, that, you know, of getting change and something done in our country pertaining to that, you know. Now, as far as, you know, when it comes to the election, hey, America showed herself. Kamala didn't make it because of her gender. If Kamala was a man, she would have made it. Let's just look at the logics. Hillary Clinton ran against him first. She lost. Joe Biden ran against Trump second. He won. And now Kamala Harris ran against him third. She lost. So the 2 candidates that lost were women. It took a white man to defeat him. So I say that, hey, it speaks for itself. The reason she was not. Now, her policies wasn't all that on point or so forth. And yes, it could have been better, but knowing the danger and the character of Donald Trump, you know, basically nobody wanted Biden, but he was chosen just to prevent Trump from getting back in office. So it's evident, it's clear she lost due to her gender. But at the end of the day, Project 2025 is put out there through the federal government. And, you know, we'll see how real it is. And, you know, in January, we'll see, is Trump going to own up to his words and his quote unquote policies that he made? And also, this Project 2025, we'll see how it plays out. So that's my final thoughts for today. And I think it goes to show reality is in our world, everything is racist, everything is sexist, everything is discrimination. People judge you everywhere you go based off, you know, your race, your gender, your color, your status in life, your social skills, your age, and so forth. That's just life, the world we live in. And, you know, we've accomplished a lot, but we still got a long way to go. And so
you're goddamn right.
So
I just want to throw that in there.
Yes, sir. And so I am an activist for The independent party, at the end of the day, the whole democracy needs to be destroyed, and it is about the independent party. I am Kenique Jackson. I am glad to be a guest on your show, and I am working. It's in the making of coming up with my network where you all can find me.
All right, now y'all heard that here first. All right, next we are going to Marcus. I ain't seen Marcus in forever. Like I don't know where Marcus been at. You know, he could have been around for the sports show, coming in like, you know, not first place or second place. But you know, Marcus, we got Marcus here. Final thoughts, sir.
Yo, man, thank you for having me. I know I haven't been here in a while, but it's not because I don't, you know, support you.
He don't like me no more, y'all.
No, it's not even that, bro. You know, I can stand you. You know, I can put up with you. But you know, I just been having some stuff come up. I'm probably gonna be having surgery soon in the foot. I wanted to say, yeah, hey man, it's part of the job, you know, especially when you're out there in the field and stuff. So,
True.
I was gonna say that rest in peace to Brother Clarence. I know he passed away. I don't know if anybody knows him.
Talking about Clarence Thomas?
No, Brother Clarence from Let's Talk Better Black Life, you know? I don't know if you've been on that channel over there.
I was hoping you said Clarence Thomas. God damn.
What? You know.
But keep going. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. So I just wanted to take the time to give the man flowers because you know, he was always a good man, respectful host. Regardless if you disagree with him or not. He was one of those like OG people who actually sat down and talked with you, wanted to have a conversation. And, you know, whether y'all met in eye or met at odds, whatever, doesn't matter. You know, he was one of those, you know, real rare individual men. Good man, good father, good husband. Yeah, man. Other than that, bro, shout out to you. Go Ravens. And then also, you know, shout out to your Chiefs, man, because they're doing pretty good. Doing pretty good, undefeated. Yeah, hey, nice to meet you, Kenique. Nice to meet you. Regardless if we disagree or not, I still know how to show respect and show some class and not have to disrespect each other. And even if you vote for whoever, I could still, at the end of the day, sit down with the person and talk with them because all it is a conversation. And meeting people from different cultures or classes, and it doesn't matter. You know, Ghosty, aka Jane Gypsy. You know, we had definitely have our disagreements. Red, yeah, good to see you, man. Just support the channel. I know that I'll be swinging around here more too. And JB Channel, you have your sports stuff too. So I know the game is close right now. And also go Warriors and go Dodgers because the Dodgers brought the World Series, baby. Shout out to, you know, Babe Ruth. Shout out to Fernando Valenzuela. Shout out to
fucking Oscars.
Hey man, I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, like all the team. Babe Ruth, Fernando Valenzuela, all the, you know, greats that came before in the Dodgers history, even Manny Ramirez and all those guys. You know what I'm talking about. Camp, all those guys, you know, all that, man, all that in a bag of chips. Shout out to y'all. Make sure you subscribe to all these guys, all these men and women.
All right, let Jay say, is this the Oscars? All right, fuck it. We're going to Red next. Like, I'm switching it up now. We're going to Red. Red, final thoughts.
So, regarding the whole election thing, I was pretty stoked and excited to see all the tears, you know, all the leftists losing their minds. But I woke up that morning and I kind of just felt bad. A lot of like really misguided, in my opinion, medicated, trauma-bound people. But I feel like a lot of the left actually subliminally wanted Trump to win. Obviously, the media wanted him to win because he gives them all the good headlines. But there is an aspect of, you know, being a perpetual victim. And now that the Republicans have the House and the Senate too, you could be a victim all you want for the next 4 years, complete void of any accountability on your side. But it will be interesting to see how it goes from here. Fortunately, the division, it seems like the raging and all that, it's dying down from here. So, you know, daddy's home, nature is healing. We'll see how it goes from here. But thanks for having me. I'm Red Illusion. You can find me on Instagram at Red Z Illusion. I'm selling some of my artwork. Check me out.
All right.
Don't let the liberal media tell you how to think and feel. If you have hate in your heart, let it out.
Good. All right, now we go on to Miss Jane Gypsy. I didn't do that just because he was after you. I just forgot I had that clip, and I've been wanting to play that. All right, Miss Jane Gypsy, final thoughts.
Okay. My final thoughts is.
Oh yeah, we gonna talk about Jane not coming around in a while. I did a Friday night show and she didn't show up. But either way though, keep going.
I know.
No, she's getting E-celeb status now.
No,
big time.
No, none of that.
Oh yeah, I forgot to say, shout out to Jackie Robinson, man, another loyal Dodger. You know.
Jesus Christ. This is the Oscars. Keep going.
Hey man, I just gotta say, man, I just can't say titles, maybe titles.
So I think the real reason we lost is because of Joe Biden. I think it's Joe Biden's fault for pretending like, I mean, we tried to keep the status quo. He was the incumbent president. They always have to run again, but I think he should have just admitted from the beginning that he wasn't up to run. And I think we would have had a better chance instead of just throwing Kamala in there at last minute. I do want to make a comment about the division, because I see a divide, and not only between Democrats and Republicans, but also within the party. Oh shit! I do see the divide between within the right. She walked away a little bit ago, but I see the I don't know if it's division in the left, but we definitely were not all in cahoots with Kamala. We had a lot of issues with her too, and I think we are more willing to say that. I think we are the more self-critical party, and I think it damaged us, but I also don't blame us for being honest with our faults and where I don't think I could name one Democrat who voted for Kamala who was yeah, I support all of her policies across the board. I just did not see that once. But I think going down over the next 4 years, kind of like what Jay said, the Democrats are going to have to come up with 2 issues that affect all Americans, not just these niche issues, and focus on that, even if we have to exaggerate just a little bit because Americans are fucking retarded. That's probably what we're going to have to do to win. And hopefully Trump doesn't fuck this up too bad with his tariffs and shit. But we'll see. But yeah, it was good talking with all of you all. I like disagreeing with people of all different races, religions, whatever, opinions and shit. So thanks for having me.
I'm gonna clip that last part, JVJ, and just so I can do my own smear campaign on Gypsy one of these days, I swear.
What did I say? Did I say something fucked up?
Maybe.
He said maybe.
I was trying to back up what you said. I like talking to a bunch of different people.
Well, I'm sorry, you didn't sound like an Oscar fucking nomination speech like you did. I wasn't sounding like an Oscar fucking.
And shout out Susan B. Anthony.
shout out Amelia Earhart.
Hey, look, no bullshit though. I was hoping you wasn't talking about what I call a cat a bitch. But either way though, that's neither here nor there. Look, man, this actually wasn't meant to be about the politics, but we needed to have a conversation about it because there were a lot.
Oh yeah, fuck the police too.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna get to. Fucking no bullshit. It wasn't supposed to be about the politics. It was supposed to be about the cop shit, but all of this stuff is gonna be entwined and it's gonna be exaggerated in a grand scheme because a lot of things might actually come from just thought to actual reality coming up with this next election. And I hope everybody's locked in and ready to rock and roll, because it's gonna be what it's gonna be. Optimism will be high, but reality might be low. I don't know how it's gonna go. But when it comes to this police issue that we have in society, it don't matter whether it's Democrat or whether it's a Republican in office. I don't care what your state legislation or your city legislation is. This issue persists. And I want to consistently keep trying to inform Americans about the situations that their fellow Americans experience on a day-to-day basis. And maybe one day, all of us will give a fuck and actually call this shit out. And if we can build off of that, we can build off to, actually getting legit candidates for president. Maybe they stop putting 2 pieces of shit in front of our face and saying which one you like better. Because that's pretty much all we're dealing with for the last couple years. You had a man with Alzheimer's. You had a woman that, Hillary Clinton was doing the C-walk for a little bit. And Donald Trump's just a piece of shit. all the way around. Like, I don't care what nobody say, and I tell them all day, I don't like that motherfucker. I don't give a fuck what they say, and ain't nothing you can say to me to make me feel good about this motherfucker. But hopefully he'll do the things that I want him to do, because he claimed he was gonna do. So we're gonna see. Second time around, maybe he'll keep his promise. But it's been fun. It's been great. We will be right back here again tomorrow on Let's Talk and on the JVJ Network. And we're gonna be trying to rock out. Hopefully it's ops night. Y'all know, out for the Norm 18 don't take no shit. Jane, you need to make sure you show up for that. And Miss Jackson, because I just want to see y'all interaction. This should be funny. But I need y'all to hit that like. I need y'all to hit that subscribe. And we gonna be right here back doing the same thing. We're gonna get the fuck up out of here. As always, man, I appreciate y'all. And I don't know what else the fuck to say to y'all. Man, we gotta get the fuck up out of here. So I can talk.
Don't tell me about me. Stop telling me about me. Don't tell me about me. Stop telling 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 me about me. I don't need you to tell me about me.